Welcome to another Secret Influence TV interview. Please do subscribe, be notified of upcoming interviews. So today I'm very excited. I'm going to be interviewing Maximilian Messler, who's a rapid transformational therapy and mindset coach. So welcome Maximilian to Secret Influence TV.
Thank you so much, Nick. I'm so excited to be here today.
So I thought we'd just start by asking you to perhaps just explain very briefly what is rapid transformational therapy.
Yes, so Rapid Transformational Therapy, short RTT, is a very exciting method, and it's been developed by Marissa Peer. She's rated actually UK's #1 therapist, and she created this method over her 30 years experience. And what it does, it creates transformation in a really rapid way. So it's really like a recipe. It has 4 steps to it. And within one session, you can resolve a topic completely. Sometimes it takes up to 3 sessions, but it's working really with the subconscious mind and with what lies beneath. You really look at the root cause of what's maybe blocking you. Even if it's like a physical symptom, it can sometimes be connected to subconscious pattern and beliefs or stuck emotions. And this will be dealt with in a really short amount of time, and you move towards a successful transformation. And it's what got me really excited.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. So getting quicker results effectively through therapy sessions. I think everyone would see the benefit of that. And I mean, just to understand it, you use hypnotherapy as part of this approach? Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So RTT harnesses different modalities, and hypnosis and hypnotherapy is one of them, but it adds also methods from NLP, from psychotherapy, and from CBT. So it's just really the best from all of the different techniques combined to create this rapid change and to create a successful transformation. And hypnosis obviously is basically a natural state we all experience. So it sounds maybe a bit strange for some people, but it's really not.
Okay. Um, but so I know in your social media sort of posts you mentioned about, to help people upgrade their life. Um, and obviously this thing about helping people transform their life, I guess to improve it in some area. What do you mean by for people to upgrade their life? What sort of things do people does this transformational therapy help them improve their life? What sort of areas?
Yes. So basically, you can improve all areas, but of course, for example, if you take a look at your life and maybe you realize your finances, you're stuck with maybe earning a certain amount of money and you would like to earn more. But then very often there's a subconscious belief that so many people of us have, and it's like, I'm not enough. And then if you have this subconscious belief of you're not enough, you're not worth more, you will basically sabotage yourself. You will not ask for a raise. You will have a hard time to put up your prices. And this will keep you obviously stuck in a certain area of your life. And upgrading your life means to shatter those blocks, to get rid of them and get what you really deserve, to earn more money, to have better relationships, more fulfilling relationships, to change your habits, to eat better, to do more sports. And with my work, I do a lot of self-esteem and self-worth work. So whatever the topic is, basically we always work on feeling that you are worth it, because that's really what's needed in order if you want to up-level any area of your life.
So would you say that, people mindset, or people's, and obviously that can encompass a lot of things, but often that's what holds people back, people's own perhaps doubts, insecurities, lack of confidence, that sort of things. That's what holds most people back, I guess you're saying. So,
Yes, it is. And sometimes we are not even quite aware of it. So we could be saying, yes, but I want more money, I want a better relationship. But our subconscious beliefs, they will actually rule over our behavior. So even if we consciously say, I want it, you could have still a program in your subconscious mind that will sabotage you. And you might be not even aware, but if you have an area in your life where you feel I should be or I would like to be on a different level and you're not, the chance is really high that there might be a program that's holding you back. Yeah.
Sure. And with something which produces rapid results, is the I guess a good question a lot of people think is, does it have a lasting effect, or do people slip back into those bad habits? How would some how do people once you've achieved that positive change, how do you maintain that? Is it something people can do themselves, or do you have to top up a few more sessions? How's it working out in the long term?
I love that question. Thank you for asking this. And so obviously what we do in one session is it's basically 4 steps. First of all, we look at the root cause. So maybe what is the subconscious belief that's holding you back? And then once you understand what the meaning might be of a belief, you can really interrupt those beliefs, because so
Right.
oftentimes those beliefs come from childhood times, and inside of us we still hold this belief. But once you realize now you're grown up and you don't really need this anymore, you can interrupt them, and then we install new powerful beliefs that will move you towards your goal. And this is done in the session, but also for each client there's a recording, a hypnotic recording that's specifically tailored to the needs of this person. And with the recording, you listen to it for at least 21 days, because the mind learns by repetition. So each day when you listen to it, you will install and program this into your subconscious mind. So this will help you massively. And a lot of clients, will listen even for 2 months. And once in a while, when you realize, oh, I might slip back, you start to listen to the recording again, and it will remind you and it will bring back all of the positive things you actually want. And so that's basically the main part. You need to participate in to listen to this recording, because this will install the lasting
Sure.
results.
No, it's fascinating. I write a lot of blogs and talk a lot about how you can influence other people, to grow your business, get people to follow you or like you, or take the action you want them to. But actually, the most important thing to person to influence is obviously yourself, in the way you act and think. So it's fascinating. Does this approach can it work with anyone, or are there some people who haven't, do you have to have a certain open mind? Will it work with anyone, or just some people where you think, they're not quite right for this type of therapy?
So thanks for asking. So in general, it works with everyone, because, it's a state. Hypnosis is a natural state. Every person who wakes up in the morning, when you're half dreamy, but you already realize, your surroundings, it's a sort of a trance state. And it's also when you go to bed at night. So this state is a natural state we can all access, but of course it helps, to be open towards change, because a person who doesn't really want to do and change something about themselves will have a harder time, obviously, to benefit from it. It can still work, but you need to participate, because also every hypnosis basically is self-hypnosis.
Sure,
I can tell you to take a deep breath, but it's up to you in the end, Nick,
sure.
if you will take the deep breath, right?
Oh, sure, sure. No, of course.
And yeah,
And I get one. Is there any? I guess people must have a lot of a lot of people must have misconceptions about hypnotherapy. And people, uh, we have those sort of stereotype views of people being hypnotized. What are the common, do you think, misconceptions people have?
yeah,
When people, yeah.
yeah, thank you. It's also a really good question. Thank you for asking, because so many people do believe it's something that's super strange, or they will even lose their control. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions because you will never lose control. You actually gain control about yourself. And that's the empowering part of it. So instead of losing control, you gain back control of your life, of your thoughts, and you influence your life, therefore, in a much more positive and different way. And, I cannot tell a person to do something they really don't want. It will only always resonate with what's within you. So sometimes, because it's quite also a dialogue, a session. So I'll be talking to the person and I'll be asking questions. And if the person says, no, it's actually different, the person will know exactly what's right for them, what they want, and what's not true. So you are actually more awake. It wakes you up to your potential, and that's the powerful part. So it doesn't take away control. I think that's a big misconception, and it won't turn you into a chicken or something else.
Yeah, that's what I always think. I think I've seen a few stage shows in the past, with people clucking around the stage. So I think that's I think that's been my view.
Yes,
That's it. Oh,
and that's stage hypnosis, right? Because it's for show, right? I
oh,
mean, show is always about creating something that's maybe, create something that's really a showpiece. But in RTT and working with like a coaching and hypnotherapy approach, you really deal with empowering a person
sure,
and not making something strange with them.
sure, sure. And you mentioned like about creating habits and doing it over 21, was it I think
Mhm.
21 days or um, Is it is this a fundamental part of your approach that it's about to have a long lasting effect? You've got to get people to create more positive habits in the way they do things or think things. Is that a fundamental part of your approach, the habits part?
Yes, it is. Because, it's in the end, it's also the tiny habits over a long period of time that will create a big effect. So oftentimes you think, of course, I need to, run 10 miles a day, but it's better to start actually with a small approach and then continue and actually succeed in it, because then you will feel proud of yourself and you will be
Sure,
motivated to continue. So building up on the small successes create really successful habits. And also with just listening to the recording, it's 15 minutes for yourself. It's your time, and it's creating this positive impact. And you will actually realize you change also the way you think during the day, and you will catch yourself. In the past, you probably would have thought like the old way, but now you're taking the new route of
sure,
thinking a positive thought. And that's also a habit of
yeah.
thinking differently, thinking more positive thoughts, more empowering thoughts. So there's so much power in making those habits. Even just telling yourself every day, I'm enough. You can brush
Sure.
your teeth and tell yourself, I'm enough. Just make little habits, and they will have a big lasting effect and change on you.
It's almost part of it is that repeating and reinforcing the right positive message, so it becomes ingrained, I guess, on that subconscious.
Ingrained, embedded, and you cannot even free yourself from it once you've
Sure.
done it for a long time, even if you wanted to. And that's for the negative
Mm.
things too. So once we are aware, we need to, it's like you plant a seed and you need
Sure.
to water it. You need to
Sure.
water it, you give it maybe nutrients, and only by repetition of making it really a positive environment to grow, it will grow really strong and positively. And that's with our beliefs and habits pretty much the same.
And you mentioned earlier about people realizing their potential. Um, and what do you think holds most people back? I mean, is it our lack of confidence? Is it is it insecurities we have? Is it stress and that sort of affecting our progression in life? What sort of seems to be the key things that hold us back, or the people you see? Is there is that?
So most people really have the underlying belief that they're not enough. And this could be in a different part of their life. They're not worth to earn a certain amount of money. They are not worth to have a loving, caring partner. They are not worth, to have a life that's filled with all they desire. And that's really one core thing that's holding people back. It's the belief, subconscious, oftentimes. So you might not be even aware that you are not worth it. And oftentimes also people believe that something isn't available to them, because when you grow up, for example, and maybe you live in a household where there was a lack of money and you couldn't afford a lot of things, some people will have the belief it's going to be always like that and it's not going to change. This is my reality and that's for me. Nothing else is available to me. But this could also apply for health. There will not be a cure for me. And if you hold a belief, obviously you will not go out into the world to find a solution that might get you to where you want to go. So it's those really powerful beliefs that a lot of people are held back by. And also it's, yeah, it's those two beliefs that like do a lot of damage.
And how important is it when you meet a client to understand their their background or their sort of getting to understand their background or as a context for things. Is that
Yes.
something you need to you have in your initial chats? What role does that play?
Mhm. A great question. So initially, always, I mean, I'm going to get to know the person, eventually to see also if we're a great fit to work together. And then once we see we can actually work together, there will be like an introductory call where we talk about like the issue of the person, but also where they want to move towards to. And then also I'm just briefly asking, about the upbringing. But that's just basically a very small part because the most work will be done with the subconscious mind because we can talk a long time about the
Sure.
upbringing, but really the magic happens when we do the hypnosis and hypnotherapy because the subconscious mind will show us exactly what we
Sure.
need to look at and what we need
Sure.
to address. But of course, it helps to frame the context. Yeah.
Course. And how important is it for people to understand exactly what their goals are in life? Because I guess there must be some people who perhaps aren't know they don't have enough money, say, and they know they need to change that, or they're not happy with the work they're doing or relationship, they're stressed but
Mhm.
they know they need to improve things. But people that we know that if if you're not clear about your objectives, where you want to be, you never get there. You need to be really clear. So how important is that? Do you think for people to change and improve their life, being clear in where they want to be? What do they want changed exactly? Is that something that's important, or does that not matter? I think.
I think it's really important, and it's also what RTT I think makes so special because we look at the issue, the root cause, but then also where the person wants to be. How do they see themselves moving through their day? How do they feel differently? How do they speak with more confidence? How do they talk, walk? It's really important to being able to imagine the place where you want to move towards to. And we work really closely with this state also in the hypnotherapy part. But I realized a lot of people who are in deep stress and overwhelmed, they have often a hard time to even imagine, where they see themselves, where they could possibly go. So we really need to take steps. So we need to work first to really free them from their pain. And once you're free from your pain, you can actually open your eyes towards where you really thrive to go to. Sometimes it then takes a bit longer, depending where you are. Sometimes you're
Sure.
like, I know exactly where I want to go. and you can go there right away. And sometimes you need to work more first on getting rid of the pain, and then you can move closer towards where you really achieve to go in, like in the higher end level. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, some people might take like slightly longer if they need to deal with that overwhelm first to get that clarity.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. So, Maximilian, how did you get started in this? Because it's yeah, such a fascinating area. What led you to be here doing what you do?
Yeah, it's been quite an interesting journey. So I actually started out as a concept designer working in the fashion industry for Hugo
Okay,
Boss.
all right,
And
different.
I had like a great career in the corporate world. I traveled Europe, I went to the States, worked with Mercedes-Benz on corporations, fashion shows. I did it, and at some point I realized, I wasn't living like really my purpose. I felt I had a lot of achievements, but I didn't real fulfilled. And at the same time, it was a lot of work, and I overworked myself, and I myself went into burnout and like depression, anxiety, and I realized I needed to change something in my own life. And so I took a lot of steps. I mean, I went to regular therapy, coaching, and then I decided I really love the human mind and I actually want to study the human mind. So I went into university to study psychology, and then I trained in RTT because once I studied psychology, I realized it's a lot of focus is on the issues. You study the issue of depression, you study the issue of all those mental issues, but you don't really focus on solutions, and everything takes a lot of time, and even the results aren't that great. And I figured this can't be true. I wanted to find the best possible way to create a successful transformation for others, but also for myself,
Sure,
because I mean, I was still healing during that period. And so I really realized working with the mind, and especially with the subconscious mind, is where all the magic happens.
sure.
Our beliefs lies, where our behaviors, are managed. And then I studied RTT and I did a lot of coaching certifications in addition. And I just wanted to learn and train in the best in different modalities so I can really combine and harness all that's out there so other people can benefit from a successful transformation, to transform adversity, to gain resilience in a short amount of time. Because for me, it took me years and years through regular therapy, talking about the issues and everything. And it helped me, it was good. But I think life moves on, and time is precious.
Sure.
And so if other people can, move through all of these things in a short amount of time, I'm like, for me, it just makes me happy because I know how painful it can be. And each time I see a client and they feel lifted from heaviness in like one session, 1 month, in 3 months, I mean, it excites me so
Mhm.
much, and it's the best job.
That is so good to hear. You not often hear people talk about what they do with such, such passion and clearly, really believe in what they do and the results they deliver. I've been to a few Tony Robbins events, and I don't I don't know that he necessarily does rapid transformational therapy, but I know when he shares this story, he says that when he started out, therapy was quite big in America, but it was always considered like an ongoing process. So he would see a therapist, and they would perhaps see him every week, and it would be like an ongoing process, like a long time to address issues. And I remember he always said, well, that he wanted to change that because he didn't want to, go to therapists and spend months and months, chatting to fix, a challenge is going through. He wanted to, to have an immediate result, see if there's a way he could create to approach it where, um, so yeah, so I always remember, yeah, when I went to his events, but that always thought, well, that makes sense, why. yeah, go for endless. It's great to chat, but actually, what we want is results. So it's I can see the
Exactly.
benefits. What you say. Um, what advice would you give to someone who's perhaps curious about it but a bit hesitant? Is there anything you would?
Mhm. So I think a nice approach to start is just to try to have a different dialogue with yourself. Start to tell yourself better things. When you tell yourself, why am I so stupid? I forget everything. We oftentimes are so harsh and critical to ourselves for even making little mistakes. And just be kinder to yourself and talk in a very positive way that builds you up. Be proud of yourself. Tell yourself, wow, I did a great interview today. I did an amazing presentation. I was really kind to my friend today. So I would even start, if you're really hesitant, I would really just start to try to dialogue differently with yourself, have a better and more positive dialogue in your mind, and you will see the amazing change and shifts. And then you can take this and multiply it by 1,000, and then you maybe get an idea of what
Sure.
hypnotherapy and RTT can do for you. Try meditation, try, on YouTube. I also have, like upgrade your inner child hypnosis. Just try things for yourself, in a safe environment. You can always open your eyes if you don't like it, and just try really and see how that feels for you, and then just do it. Like one
Yeah,
client of
no.
mine, she said, just do it. I like I like
Yes,
that.
no, I'm very much a fan of just do it. I agree. So, the only way to ultimately make a change is to get stuck in and try it. So
Yeah.
but it's good things to share. They're great tips because even if people don't um, decide to do the hypnotherapy, I think there's certainly things we can do ourselves. And I think we are our own worst critics, and I think we criticize ourselves more than we would dare criticize people we know. And I think language to me is so important, and that perhaps the words, the way we talk to ourselves about things we've done, achievements or challenges we've had is really important. Um, so yes, just to sort of perhaps recap that. So would you say celebrating success is more saying affirmations of these sort of things make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, celebrate success massively, and say affirmations, say, make everything that's positive in your life, scale it up, talk also in words that are really exciting, positive, powerful, that really engage your mind, and everything, you want to little, and don't focus so much on it, and change the words, change
Sure.
the words, and don't criticize yourself, but praise yourself, praise yourself a lot, celebrate yourself for the little wins, for the big wins, because it builds you up, and it
Sure.
feels so, so good. And it's changing the inner critic and make your inner cheerleader just really huge. Even imagine, a person or even like something that's cheering for you, that's calling your name, that's like just like your name is all over it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's what we all need. Um, so yes, Maximilian. So I love this subject. I mean, I often chat to friends about these things, and I'm fascinated by psychology,
Mm,
and we all want to be more confident, and we all want to realize our potential. So these things I should resonate with everyone. Um, so what's next for you? Do you have I mean, so a quick question. So do you always see people in person, or do you offer online options? Yeah, that's one question. And what's next for you? Is it what's your
yes.
next in your business? What's
Yeah.
your plans?
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question because actually a lot of people ask me, do I need to see you just in person? And I do work in person because some people just feel they want to have, the atmosphere of being, with you one to one. But I do work a lot online because it's just really easy nowadays, because no matter in the world where you are, you get the same results and you're in the comfort of your own home. You don't need to travel anywhere. So it's really, really easy actually to work online, and I do work online. and in person as well. And I love both. Both
Sure.
has great benefits. And next for me is actually something that's really exciting, and it's really, I think, something I've been working towards since I started this business. It's a 21-day challenge I've created, and it's about, for everyone who feels currently overwhelmed, burned out, in a negative spiral, who wants to move towards inner peace, renewed energy, and positivity. Because I know how it feels, and I've really concised the best of the best tools to create this 21-day challenge. So everyone who feels called, to move to a more positive place in their life, to connect to their authentic selves and leave the past behind with all the blocks and the struggles. I've created this challenge, which will be an amazing community of people, because I know community is also such an important part in mental health. So I'm really excited.
And
Yeah,
how do people contact you? What's the best way? Do
yes.
you want to share briefly?
Yes. So, I mean, you can share, follow me online on Maximilian Messler on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, also my website, maximilianmessler.com. And if you want to look at the challenge, it's maximilianmessler.com/challenge. And then you can have a look, and it's really exciting. So you should definitely check it out. And you can also check my YouTube. I also have free stuff just to get you going, a podcast, and I would love to see you.
Great. Well, I'll be checking it out definitely. So do check out Maximilian Messler. Google him. He's on Facebook. He's on YouTube. Check out his challenge, and yes, contact him if you're interested in rapid transformational therapy. Uh, Absolutely fascinating. Some great tips there about changing your habits, celebrate successes, changing your mindset, positive thinking, affirmations, packed with tips. Thank you for your time, Maximilian. Great to chat. And thanks for having me on the show. Do subscribe to Significance TV. More interviews coming up. Get notified. Some more people sharing their powerful tips and their stories. Thanks for your time, Maximilian. We'll hopefully
Thank you,
speak soon.
Nick. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, cheers.
Bye.